Okay. Next one we got here is a lawsuit filed by the New York Times against OpenAI and Microsoft for ChatGPT.
Oh, baby.
So we are on the frontier, right, of copyright law, basically. Again, super exciting, of how are media companies going to deal with these generative AI models like ChatGPT that people can go to for that similar kind of information. So what happened here? On the 27th of December, the Times sued OpenAI and Microsoft for copyright infringement, claiming they had used the content of millions of New York Times articles to train their models, which now compete with the Times as a reliable source of information. It says the defendants should be held liable for billions of dollars in damages, billions with a B, and it also calls for the companies to destroy any chatbots and training data that uses info from the Times.
Wow.
The Times is the first media company to bring a lawsuit against an AI company. And what was interesting to me is that they said that they had approached OpenAI and Microsoft in April to come to a business agreement so it didn't have to go to court, but it didn't pan out.
Oh, geez.
Which to me, I'm thinking, right, the OpenAI and Microsoft executives were trying to just kick the can down the road.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they knew this was going to be a problem and they wanted to get as much market share as they can, buy as much time as they could before having to face this. And the Times probably caught on.
I've been saying this since day one. The biggest problem with ChatGPT and chatbots like it is its inability to cite information. ChatGPT 4 has gotten better with it.
Oh, really?
Yes. It will give you quotes. Like if you ask it a specific question about modern day, it'll go to Bing, find information at the modern day, and then give you a little link on where it found that information.
Wow.
Yeah, which is huge. Because I didn't know that I think it's easier when it's searching the internet rather than just its repository of articles.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, do you have to, are you specifically asking it
To go to the
Bing?
internet?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
If it's a question that it recognizes and needs modern day information,
Okay.
then it will go to Bing.
Okay.
Sometimes sometimes you have to prompt it to say, go to Bing and find the info for me.
Okay.
Sometimes, but not all the time. Anyway, but sometimes citation isn't just enough. If you're literally taking word for word things from the New York Times and then putting quotes around it, and you're literally just reprinting their article, guess what? You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, in the lawsuit, the Times cites several examples of prompts that are given to ChatGPT that will be like, there's this article in the Times that's behind a paywall. I want to know what it says. Can you give me the first paragraph? And it'll give the exact first paragraph. And then it'll be like, okay, can you give me the second paragraph? And it'll give the exact second paragraph. So I think the Times has a great case.
And I think they're right. I think this is exactly, I love AI. I love ChatGPT. But New York Times needs to make some money off of it.
Yes.
End of story.
Yeah.
You need to. If Microsoft is making money off of it, then so do they. End of story.
But
they need some type of royalty system.
It's super hard, right? Like
it is.
what is I was trying to think, what is the vision for this? Because we've talked about this before. These large language models are just guessing what the next best word is, right? So if that's all they are, and how do you create a system where you're checking every response you give if it's directly plagiarized from something?
Well, not only that, how do you check it to see if it comes from a New York Times article?
That I don't even expect is possible.
I don't even think is possible.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
I don't think that's possible. And so I don't know, and I think we are going to face issues here I think this is really going to block AI development.
No, it totally will. It will. And it's going to be hard to get over.
Yeah.
It is. It's going to be hard to get over.
And there aren't even it's not that strict. These copyright laws, they're not so strict about getting information from somewhere. As in what am I trying to say? Like, we get information from the Times all the time.
Oh, all the time.
And we talk about it. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to pay them, we pay for our subscriptions. And ChatGPT, or the developers at OpenAI, have obviously paid for New York Times subscriptions to be able to scrape all that data.
Yes.
But the fair use legal doctrine, which kind of defines what you're able to talk about without giving credit or without paying a source of news, basically means that as long as you put any kind of spin on it, as long as you add any kind of creativity or make it unique in any way, basically as long as you're not plagiarizing word for word,
right,
or showing the exact like video that a content producer has made, then you're fine. So it's hard to know, like, how would an OpenAI be able to draw the line on one of their videos and be like, okay, this is one that we have to pay the times for, or on one of their like text responses, right? This one we have to pay for. This one, the words are far enough off that we're good.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Does it need to, would it be enough for the New York Times to just accept that everything that they pull from them is going to be slightly reworded?
Yeah.
Is that enough for the New York Times? Probably not, because you're still not transforming the content in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
You're filling in the real purpose of the fair use clauses and stuff is to make sure that the content or the reason the user is going to your content and not the original content is for different purposes. That's really the main goal. You come to us to hear us talk about articles you read in the New York Times or Politico or The Economist or the Wall Street Journal, not because you just want to know what's going on in the Wall Street Journal and all these magazines, because you want to hear us talk about it. You want to hear our opinions on it, our analysis of it, the implications of it that maybe the authors of these articles didn't think about. That's why you come to us. You're not coming to us just for that information, but a lot of people are using ChatGPT just to get the information from the New York Times without paying.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that can't be allowed. I'm wondering about a model where maybe they can just pay an annual lump sum. Maybe it can just be $3 billion a year. Like we've talked about before, how Google pays Apple $12 billion a year to be the default search engine on Safari. Maybe they can get something like that.
But does OpenAI have the money to throw $3 billion towards every company that they use?
No. $3 billion a year, but the Times. Do you think the Times would? I mean, I guess they are suing for billions.
Right,
So
they're suing for billions.
Yeah,
this could end.
wild.
This could end AI development as we know it, and I think it's kind of for the right cause. I mean, I'm in the space of AI development, and one of the things I'm working on is making chatbots that utilize company information. I hope I didn't just break an NDA. Anyway,
you're probably good.
I'm probably fine.
That was very vague.
Every company's doing something like that.
Yeah, that was super vague.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the point is,
less information is better.
Yeah, less information is better. AI is not going to die from this, but it will change the way it's being developed.
Yeah, I think so.
That was really funny.
Yeah, that was good. The one other thing that I want to mention before we move on is whether this will eliminate the US's lead in AI development, because that's an important point that Andreessen Horowitz pointed out when they complained about this lawsuit going into effect. And I think it could, right? Because like China is never going to institute a law like this if it's going to restrict their development.
No way. Europe is restricting their AI development through their AI rules and regulations.
Yes.
Which I'm grateful for, obviously, but it is going to restrict the development of AI that happens inside the European Union.
It is, but even that I think is less restrictive.
You think that's less restrictive?
I do.
You know what? I think you're right, because this isn't talking about billions of dollars in payouts. That's all about ethic rules.
Yeah, that's like certain types of models. It's like you can't do
deep fakes.
Yes, this is going like every major chatbot would be affected by this. Will be affected by this.
Will be affected by this.
Yeah, and those are the most basic and also the most useful types of AI we have.
Yep.
So
no, it's gonna be big.
It's gonna be crazy.